Sri Lanka Mata, Apa Sri Lanka, Namo 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 Mata, Sundara Sridhari Surani Ati Shobha Sri Lanka Mata, Apa Sri Lanka, Namo 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 Mata, Sundara Sridhari Surani Ati Shobha
Sri Lanka's history has long been enriched by the country's multi-ethnic population who have maintained their own identity while coexisting with others. Prominent among these are the Muslims of Sri Lanka. The recently launched Institute of Muslim Historical and Cultural Studies hopes to draw inspiration from tradition and history and also contribute to its better intercultural understanding.
The history of the Muslims in Sri Lanka dates back over 1,000 years. During this time, they have made their mark in every sphere of life and society in the country. But while there are many signs that indicate the long presence of the Muslims in Sri Lanka, little research exists that documents and traces the community's contribution to the historical, cultural and political fabric of this country. It is to create a space to make up for this lack that the Institute of Muslim Historical and Cultural Studies was launched on the 4th of November 2008 at the Sri Lanka Foundation Institute in Colombo.
I wish to quote from the eminent scholar and Muslim historian Dr. M.A. Aziz, who said few decades ago, the history of Muslims of Sri Lanka is incompletely unexplored field of research. As a result, the Muslim contribution of Ceylon history or heritage is not known fully. By this, the worst sufferers are the Muslims themselves. While the Sinhalese have their Mahavamsa, the Cholavamsa and the Rajavali, and the Tamils their Yalpana Vaibhavamali, the Muslims have no chronicle of their own. But fortunately, in the modern era, interest in the early history of the Muslims has been created.
The chairman of the new institute explained its vision, aims and objectives in undertaking projects and activities in the future.
The Institute of Muslim Historical and Cultural Studies aims to create historical consciousness among the young generation of the Muslim community and make them interested in our historical past, and also to train and engage young researchers in study of Muslim history, culture and civilization. We intend to conduct workshops, seminars, publish monographs and also magazines, and provide an opportunity for young budding historians to exercise their thinking and make their contribution.
As one of their first initiatives, the Institute held a short story competition asking participants to write under the theme of the historical coexistence between the Muslims and the Sinhalese. 3 winning stories were selected and their authors awarded with monetary prizes at the event. First prize went to Mr. W.M. Disanayaka of Maho for his story titled Attikka Mala.
November 2008.
The launch event was also an opportunity to felicitate a Sri Lankan historian and author of the book Muslims of Sri Lanka 1000 Years of Ethnic Harmony, Dr. Lorna Devaraja. In her acceptance speech, she emphasized the goodwill that existed among the two communities that she came to realize during her research studies.
I found the research also very innovative, because I walked into Muslim villages, went about with elite Muslims and also Muslim farmers, Muslim physicians, went with them to Buddhist temples and saw how they interacted with each other. This may have been about 15 to 20 years ago, and there was perfect harmony among them, so much so that I went with a Buddhist priest also to Muslim houses, and the Buddhist priest was treated very well by the Muslims, Muslim hosts and hostesses, and I was quite overwhelmed by the amount of goodwill that existed between them.
Muslims came to Sri Lanka in order to trade, not invade, and as such their interaction with the Sinhalese people was always harmonious. What has been unique about the Muslim community has been their ability throughout history to assimilate with the Sinhalese community naturally and without conflict, while simultaneously preserving their own cultural identity and customs. If the peaceful coexistence of the past between these two communities is endangered in any way today, it is a situation that must not be allowed to escalate. Professor Venerable Hanguranketa Dhirananda Thera, who presented the keynote address at the event, stressed the importance of taking lessons from the past to build a better future, a message that comes at an opportune time given Sri Lanka's last 2 troubled decades of conflict and strife.
මානසික වශයෙන් මනසින් බැඳෙන බැම්ම තමයි සදාතනික වෙන්නේ. යුද්ධෙන් නැත්තම් ප්‍රාකාරයෙන් බඳින බැම්ම නෙවෙයි. අපි දන්නා ජර්මනිය බැමි බැඳගෙන වෙන් වුණා. දැන් බැමි කඩාන වැටිලා අද ඔක්කොම එක්සත් වෙලා ඒ රටවල් අද නැගියා. ඒ නිසා පළාත් හැටියට, මායිම් හැටියට, ඇඳුම් හැටියට, භාෂාව හැටියට බෙදන්න එපා. එතෙන් අපි කොටු වෙන්නේ නැතුව ඒවා යල්පැන ගිහිලා ඉවරයි. දැන් අපි ඔක්කොම මිනිසුන් කියන තැනට අපි එකතු වෙලා අපේ රට, අපේ ජාතිය, අපේ ආගම මේවා ගොඩනගා ගන්න ඕන අපි මේ රට තුල. ඉතිහාසය අපිට ඉගෙනු පාඩම් අපි අරගෙන ඒ සංස්කෘතිය එක්ක බද්ධ වෙලා අපි ඉදිරියට යමු.
We have come to the end of our program, and hopefully we have made you think about the challenges the country has to face today. If you have any comments about the show, please write to us at nowarzone@yartv.net. Thank you for watching. Until next week, you take care.